want to know, Siam went to Bangladesh. May Allah protect Siam in his absence. He's an integral. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Before we begin today, I want to do this very quickly and then get into this important issue. I would hold back on it, but I just want to get it out of the way. At the top of the list, we want to welcome all of the brothers who came, Abu Nasir, Mustaqim. Every week for Friday, we get visitors in the Masjid because of Disney, because of all of that stuff, because they have relatives here in Florida in this area. Some of them come an hour, 2 hours away, like the brother Muqim came from 2 hours away from Fort Pierce. So that's 2 hours, and he came to do the Jummah with us. And we're always having guests. So we want to welcome you to Masjid As-Sunnah. Masjid As-Sunnah, welcome. After that, I want to, because I made a promise, I'm doing this. My daughter got an A on her exam, and she's taking a degree that's very, very difficult. And I told her I was so proud of her. It's her second year. I'm trying to get her married. She got the A, so I wanted it, I wasn't gonna do something crazy like shave my eyebrows or some craziness like that. But I wanna say, may Allah bless al-Kutub, al-Tib, the mother of medicine. I'm not gonna tell you my daughter's name in public, but I just wanted to let her know we're very proud of her. Make it, do what it gotta do, Mamacita. The other thing we wanted to mention was we received an email from a sister. Her name was Maymuna, like my daughter. May Allah bring my Maymuna back. May Allah bring Shaybat al-Ham back. Sunnah, the Sunnah the better. Quran, Sunnah, the Sunnah the better. May Allah bring them back, inshallah. Her name was Maymuna. My daughter has that name. She wrote an email advising me. And she said that she was shocked to hear a khutbah that I gave. And in the khutbah, I had said, freaking, like these freaking people or something like that. And I remember the incident. I don't remember the khutbah. And she said she doesn't think that's appropriate. We shouldn't be like the kuffar. She said that the khutbah was about Thanksgiving and not being like the kuffar. And I said, freaking. I could be argumentative and say things like, instead of cursing and swearing, those who have issues with cursing, one of the ways you can leave off cursing is to replace it with words like that. Instead of saying that word, you say this word. But I'm not going to be mutafalsif, no philosophy. I'm not going to be philosophical. I'm going to say I appreciate her advice and she's right and I'll do better, bi'idhnillah. I'm just happy that I said freaking and not some other word during the khutbah. But she's right. Prophet ﷺ was extremely eloquent in his speech and in giving dawah. We can't give people any ammunition to run away with the wrong impression or run away and they make something out of anything. So I want to say to my sister Maymuna, if she's listening, may Allah reward you. I don't know who she is. May Allah reward you. we're always open for advice. The other issue is, I came to you brothers over there, the students, mashallah, the core members of our community of Salafi brothers, sisters on the Sunnah. We don't apologize to anybody about that. We call to Salafiyah, but we're not up on the minbar, nor do we exist beating drums, Salafi, and people over the head. I'm not going to apologize to anybody about being a Muslim. Al-Islam is the truth. I'm not going to apologize to people about that. And in Al-Islam, we have many divisions and many understandings, misunderstandings. As-Salafi is the truth. As-Salafi meaning understanding this religion, the aqidah, the ibadah, the existence, the way the companions understood it. And this is one of the reasons why we gave today's khutbah and last week's khutbah. It's another way of bringing the attention of the Muslims to the importance of the example of the companions. We could give many examples of why we have to turn to the companions. Ayat, hadith, proof that an intelligent aqli, dalil aqli, they are the blueprint. And one of the ways we did that was today. The way they accepted Islam and how we have to follow them. So the brothers were sitting at the table, and after Maghrib, I went over, I said, Farzan, you, Ramiz, two of the students here, you have to get ready for the khutbah next Friday. It's going to be on you, inshallah. And from the desk came a big, oh, no, nah. Come on, man. We mujahideen up in this spot, man. We ain't scared. And as long as we are reluctant, we're never going to get out there. Now, obviously, we have to be ready. But the whole table said, nah, oh. Come on, man. The reason why we give that Thursday night class, khitaba, and how to give a khutbah, because your turn is coming to get up there to give dawah, here or somewhere else. So I appreciate and I take on board. Maybe we're not ready. No problem. But come on, man. Got to get ready. So today's talk, Ikhwani, is about what we announced after the Jummah today. What is the correct position concerning what's going on in Syria? There's no ayat of the Quran, there's no hadith from the authentic Sunnah that says this is the correct position. So I'm going to give you my understanding. You don't have to accept it. I'm not a dictator. I'm not going to force you. But from what I understand from the Kitab and the Sunnah and the drama that's going on in the Muslim world and the drama between Salafis, I want to share with you what I understand as the correct position. I'll do my best to stay calm, because if you start getting excited, the way you present it can be a problem. You'll give more ammunition to people to misunderstand you. Because what I'm going to say is a problem with hardcore, judgmental Salafis. But I don't care, because I'm against that stuff. I'm against the dawah of their sheikhs who call to that stuff, and I'm against them. And I bite my tongue for no one. And that's how I've been for a number of years. You guys have introduced innovative principles in this deen. I'll do my best to stay calm, inshallah. So concerning the issue of HTS, which stands for Hizb Tahrir al-Sham, the group that's there making the freedom of Sham, Syria. First thing that I want to say, and I said it a few times, I want to tell you that this group of people have people who were Khawarij with them, people who were Daesh with them, people who were from Qaeda with them. I'm against Daesh and Qaeda. I'm against them. I was against them in England. I was very vocal because it's very strong. It was very strong extremism in England. And I always tell people, Islam is stronger in England. I come out of my house, and the house that I came out of, if you go to the right, there's a masjid up that way. You go to the left, there's a masjid that way, another masjid, another masjid. You're spoiled for choice in England. Our women wear niqab over there. Our daughters wear niqab. They have high schools that are all Muslims, that the government is taking care of. Islam in the UK is stronger than here. Here in Kissimmee, we're all spread out. Muslims are spread out. A lot of Muslims are very liberal here. The hijab is lacking, is wanting here. If you see a girl with niqab and gloves here, people look. It's not like that in the UK. If you go to the UK, London, Birmingham, where we were at, close to Green Lane Masjid is a street called Coventry Road. And there are a lot of masjids around that area. If you go there and you pray for Jummah and you come out on that street, you would think that you were in, I don't want to say Islamabad, but you would think you were in a Muslim country because of all of the Muslims. You'll be shocked if you ever go. You'll say, Subhanallah. And the non-Muslim media and their Islamophobia and false propaganda. In the UK, the false propaganda of the media is greater over there than it is here. As the Imam here, I say whatever I want to say. In the UK, you have to be careful. So anytime I gave a khutbah in Green Lane, they were always very nervous. What is he going to say? What is he going to say? I tell them, I'm not crazy, but I'm going to say what I have to say. And it is always a problem. Not like that in America. You can say what you want to say. So, as it relates to the UK, we had some extreme Muslim brothers and sisters, men and women. One young girl, Sheikh Abu Anis, waited at the subway. They call it the underground. She waited one morning until a member of parliament came to commute and to use a train, and she stabbed him up. And she said that was jihad. And she was a gifted student, threw her life away. Another brother was on the London Bridge. The London Bridge is an iconic place in the UK. It's like the World Trade Center. It's like Empire State Building. It's like things like that. On the London Bridge, same thing. His brother stabbed some police officer and ran them over with cars, with his car. And I knew his daughter. Another Muslim, 2 or 3 of them, saw some British soldiers and they went and stabbed them up in the street. Blood all over the knife, all over his hand. And instead of running away, the people were there and he was giving a khutbah. I don't say instead of running away as if I condone that. I'm telling you what happened. Instead of escaping, he started talking to the people and he started saying, Islam is coming. We're going to get you people. We're going to deal with you people. And he looked bloody. It was barbaric. There's a group over there. They're a splinter group from the Ikhwan al-Muslimin. They're called Hizb Tahrir. The Ikhwan al-Muslimun, I told you, are a scourge on this ummah as it relates to their minhaj. In terms of individuals, then they have some people who have khayr, no doubt about that. Minhaj is a problem, and a lot of splinter groups came from them. Takfir, Qaeda, Sururis, a lot of stuff. A lot. So there's a group, Hizb Tahrir. They have their place in the Arab world, very political. They asked their leader, who's been locked up again. He was locked up 4, 5, 6 years, I don't remember. He got out, and then they locked him up again recently because he can't keep his mouth shut. And he's a demagogue. I don't know why he thinks talking like that is going to benefit him, Islam, or even their dawah. They're going to shut you down with that nonsense. They asked this brother, what are you guys going to do, Hizb Tahrir? You call for the Khilafah. What do I look like calling for the Khilafah from this masjid? I'm making my dawah the Khilafah. I'm Majnoon. I'm all for the Khilafah of al-Islam. But that's what I'm calling the people to. When here in Florida and in America, the Muslims are very liberal. The men come and they wear Bermuda shorts. Our wives are not wearing hijab. Many people are not praying. And I'm going to get up here and call the people to the Khilafah. Establish the Khilafah in the earth, in your homes, in your homes. Allah established Khilafah in the earth. I, Abu Usama, Abdul Shakur, Nazir, Abu Anas, Abu Nasir, Abu Tariq, Abdul Hadi, Farzan, establish the Khilafah in your house. Hijab, Salat, Halal, Haram, the TV. Establish the Khilafah in your house, and Allah will establish it in the earth. But no Khilafah in my house. But me, I'm going to come here and say Khilaf, Khilaf. They asked that brother, what are you Muslims going to do, Hizb Tahrir, if you establish the Khilafah? He said, the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take all of the women who don't wear hijab, Muslims and non-Muslims, and we're going to kill them. When I used to hear things like that, I said, those cats are working with the feds. Because that's too outrageous. They are with the feds. Who says something like that? It was just tashwih to Islam, giving a bad image of al-Islam. So I'm here to say to you, Daesh, those people are a problem. And HTS, they have Daesh with them. There's no doubt about that. They have Daesh with them. And one of the Daesh leaders in the past, and he's fitting prominently in the situation now, his name is Abu Muhammad al-Khawlani. غفر الله لنا وله. In Syria, when the people of Daesh were fighting against Bashar and all of that a few years ago, they did some unspeakable crimes. And this is show you how out of it our community is. That people know what they did from the Shabab and the people who support that. And they can't look at, brother, did you see how they killed the people? I just give you one example, and there are many. They put some Daesh, Qaeda. They caught some people who worked for the previous regime, and they put them in cells, a cell, C-E-L-L. He's in a cell, you in a cell, he's in a cell. And they had cranes, and they lowered the cell into the water, and they drowned them to death. And they took pictures of that from outside and from inside the cell. That's not our religion. An animal. Rasulullah says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ليحد أحدكم شفرته ليريح ذبيحته. When you slaughter an animal, a chicken, sharpen your knife so as to spare the chicken from suffering, man. Sharpen it. Don't have a dull knife. He prohibited us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. He's a rahmah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We sent you as a rahmah, even when you're dealing with animals or you're dealing with the enemy. He told us, when you slaughter an animal, don't slaughter the animal in front of his babies and in front of the other animals. Take the animal away, the mother, the father, especially the mother, slaughter them over there. Don't slaughter animals in front of all of the other animals because it's stressful. So that's a lesson for us. When we go to Eid al-Adha, I've been here now a few months since Ramadan. So for the Eid al-Adha, I didn't go to the slaughter place, but I got some of the meat. Hannah's brought me hearts and liver and stuff like that. It was real nice. But when you go to slaughter, we have to be aware of this. Don't be out there wholesaling, slaughtering, and the animals. Now, if that's what the system is, what are we going to do? Go and shut the place down? No, we'll give advice to the owner of the place, say this is not how we should do this. So if this is the way we're supposed to deal with animals, how in the world do you put someone in a cell and drown him to death? Where does that come from? And this is what they were doing. The people who have liberated Asham, this is what some of them were doing. And worse than that, I just don't want to sit here and give you examples, crazy examples. There was a long caravan of lorries, tractor trailers, and they stopped the people and they took them out and they would ask them, what's your name? If the guy lied, he was in trouble. And if he told the truth and his name was Hassan, Hussein, Ali, they say you're Shiite. And they would take him out and shoot those people. No due process, no questions. This guy is miskeen, man. I don't like the aqidah of a tashayyur. I don't like it. But those people are ignorant. Some of those people from the awam. We have a person here sitting with us from Iraq, As-Sunnah. Where he grew up at and where he comes from, his neighbors could be Shiite, but they're nice people. Their aqidah is jammed up. Their Islam has a problem, but they're nice people. So we're going to say, you can't pull someone out of a truck and shoot them like that. You're the judge, the jury, and the executioner. That's Daesh. That's Osama bin Laden. Ghafarallahu lana wa lahu wa rahimahullah. That was Osama bin Laden's da'wah. People get mad. People get mad. I'm not trying to talk bad about Osama bin Laden as such, but those people killed and they harmed Muslims more than they did anything else. And that's what the Prophet said about the Shiite, about the Khawarij. يقتلون أهل الإسلام ويدعون أهل الأوثان. They kill the people of Islam and they leave the people of idolatry. So if you are a person who all you can do is criticize Salafi, that's all you do. You're like the Khawarij. Why are you mutasallit, mutarabbas on the Salafi? Come on, man. Everybody make mistakes, you included, your sheikhs included. Why are you like that? We got to spread our dawah. Stop that. What's wrong with you? So I say to you very clearly, with HTS, this element is in there. And because of that, I have guarded optimism. I don't trust a person who's Khariji. Just like I don't trust me, a person who's Rafidi. The Shiite who's from the 12 Imamas, they have a tuqya. They'll say what they don't mean. So you have to judge people from what's apparent. So I'll listen, and I hope you're telling the truth, but you're not fooling me to give you the codes to my PIN numbers. I'm not giving you my PIN numbers. I'm not giving you the key to my house, because in the back of my head, I know your history and I know your deen. The Khawarij are the same way. I don't trust that aqidah. I don't trust it. But I have guarded optimism. And that's because since this thing happened recently, Abu Muhammad al-Khawlani, he is speaking intelligently. The BBC, Al Jazeera, all of these people who interview him, he's speaking intelligently. He's answering the questions intelligently. He's not being barbaric. He's not saying crazy things. He's not, and not only that, but the soldiers, they're not killing people indiscriminately. I saw with my own eyes how multiple times they have let soldiers go that were with the last regime. They sent them tulaqa and they let them go. Because when they talked about what they were doing, what their job, what their wazifa was, they realized they're just regular Syrians. They got this job and they have a fitna like we have fitnas in our job. We have jobs that are fitnas. And they saw that and they let them go. So they're not behaving the way they used to behave towards Shiite and people who were with the Nizam, the system there. So seeing that, I say, I'm happy for the freedom of the Syrians to be free from those criminals. That man was a taghut. His father was a taghut. And may they get from Allah what they deserve. If you would see, as I'm sure some of the Arab brothers have seen in the news, the prisons that are under the ground, man. Prisons for women and for men. And they were doing with the women what they wanted to do. And I used to go to Lebanon, and I met some of the women from Raqqa. You wouldn't believe the story. You wouldn't believe the stories. You would not believe it. You would not believe it. The Syrian Laji'in. What's a Laji? Huh? Refugees. They left Syria, they came to Lebanon. And they're in a refugee camp. So we used to go and we used to help them. And we used to hear their stories. Unbelievable. 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 But they're not doing that. Right now, HTS, they are not acting that way. It seems like they see the bigger picture. So I've seen two extremes with the Muslims as it relates to Syria right now. You have one extreme of the people who are talking as if they want Bashar back. Oh, how did they overcome them in only 2, 3, 4, 5 days? Israel is a part of it. America is a part of it. This is a setup. And that may be true because the Yahud and the Golan Heights, they've taken parts of Syria. This is one of the negative things of what has happened. I have no doubt America has something to do with it. Israel has something to do with it because they just were gone. And then these people marched on the capital. So there are a group of people who say it's just a game, it's just a trick, as if they are saying, we wish that Bashar was still there. Come on, man. That may be true. The Yahud, the Zionists, they took more land. America is part of it. The Takhtit, I understand. But the people are free. They got a volume off of their neck. And us in this masjid, we have no idea. We have no idea. We don't have any idea how it was to live under people like that. We have no idea. Saddam, Gaddafi, these people were... I don't want to be a person who generalizes and say all Arabs, because I'm not into that, just like all African Americans, no. But I'm telling you, when you get on the wrong side of Arabs like that, the leaders of these Arabs, it's sadistic what they do. But I also think that Europeans and white people who hold these countries are also sadistic in what they do and the way they deal with it. The penal system is sadistic. That penal system is not designed to change you. It's designed to make money, and they have a lot of political designs behind it. Now is not the time for that, but I'm not one of those people to always look at people of color and just to blame you. No. These people are sadistic in what they used to do in the Congo, and other than that, killing all these people, the French, America, Britain, they kill people. These Indians, the Native Americans, that's sadistic. But anyway, back to the point. Although the Yahud, the Zionists took that land, and that's a problem, but the people are free. And hopefully, by Allah's permission, with ikhlas and doing things the right way, Allah will show his blessings and his mercy on those people. So that's one extreme. Just talking against Hamas, just Hamas, as if you're with the Zionists. I don't agree with Hamas. I don't agree with them. But you're talking like you support the Zionists, man. The other extreme are the Muslims who are emotional. And they say, this is the Khilafah. They're going to establish the Khilafah. This is jihad and the Mujahideen. And brother, take it easy. Pump your brakes and take it easy. Do you not know the history of the people involved in this for you to say something like that? Relax. Let's have guarded optimism and make dua for them and support them with dua. And support them with, helping them out. But you don't know what these people did before. You don't know the Khawarij. You don't know Daesh, Boko Haram. You don't know them? What rock have you been living under? Syria is a perfect example of how these people are. And it was a long time ago. There's a companion, his name is Khabbab ibn Arat. And Allah be pleased with him. He was weak, he didn't have money. Like Sumayya, like Yasir, Ammar, Bilal, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. May Allah be pleased with them. They didn't have big tribes to protect them. Khabbab ibn Arat had a son called Abdullah. He was traveling with his wife who was pregnant, and it was just those two. And the Khawarij caught him. They started interrogating him. Who are you? He's the son of a companion. They killed him in front of his wife, took his wife, cut open her stomach, took the baby out, killed the baby and killed the mother. And then as they drove along, the Khawarij, one of them shot a khinzir as target practice. They said, what are you doing? Why you do that? He said, I was just practicing. They said, but that belongs to someone. It belonged to a Yahudi, a Nasrani, Jew, Christian. They stopped the journey, went and found that man and paid him his money for killing his animal unjustly. You just killed the companion's son, his wife, and an unborn child. And you have this thing to be fair and just about destroying the money of a Yahud or a Nasrani. يقتلون أهل الإسلام ويدعون أهل الأوثان. They kill the people of Islam and they leave the people of polytheism. So anybody who speaks Arabic, you read Arabic, it's easy for you to access this information. Go back and read it instead of being upset and mad. People who only speak English, I can understand they're emotional, but they don't have access to the information. The Khawarij are a problem. And the Prophet told us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لو أدركتهم لأقتلهم قتل عاد. If I am present, if I were to be present when these Khawarij come out, I will kill them the way the people of Ad were destroyed. So I have a position against the Khawarij. And that is, I don't trust them. And not only that, I'll speak out against them. But with the Syrian situation, they're acting differently, which brings me to the next issue, and that is the right that people have for redemption. Redemption. A person makes a mistake. He makes zina. He drank khamr. He was disobedient to his mother's father. He robbed someone. He took someone's money and didn't pay him back. He made a big mistake. He has a right for tawbah. التائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له. The one who makes tawbah from his sin is like the one who doesn't make a sin. Allah will forgive any sin other than shirk. So if people make mistakes, Daesh or other than that, and they came to their senses and make tawbah and they rectified, as a right for redemption, man. You can't continuously hold a person accountable for something that he did in the past that he made tawbah from, and you keep blaming him for that. Do you marry your daughter to him after it was known he drank khamr, he made zina? No, you don't marry your daughter to him. But you can't keep walking around saying you're drunk. You can't do that. I share with you 2 hadith to prove this issue of redemption, inshallah. The one is the companion who used to drink khamr a lot. And he drank khamr that the Prophet told him, bring him. And he flogged him. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa radiyallahu anhu. Umar came and said, oh, you're always being brought forth and we keep flogging you. What's wrong with you? May Allah curse you. Umar cursed him. How many times you going to keep coming getting flogged? What's wrong with you? When you going to wake up and smell a coffee? May Allah curse you. Rasulullah looked at Umar sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, hey, don't say that. Don't help the shaitan on your brother over your brother. Don't you know he loves Allah and his messenger? And that man, he had a sense of humor, that man. His name was Himar. You know what Himar means? A donkey, that was his name. His name was Himar, radiyallahu. And he was a practical joker. He used to make jokes with the Prophet. He wouldn't come and pluck him in his ear. knock his hat off, point to him and say, what's that? And he look down, do like that. So don't anybody come and do that to me and say, oh, Rasul, don't do that. Look down and you do like that. It's going to be a problem. Don't do that to me, pluck my ear, knock my hat off. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to laugh and be with him. And one time Rasulullah came behind him and grabbed him. And he said, who will purchase for me this slave? I'm selling them for a very cheap price. And he showed his sense of humor, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is a slave, Abdullah. Even when he's joking, he's going to say the truth. He's not going to lie when he's joking. He says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, waylun lilladhi yakdhibu liyutka an-nas. Woe unto the one who lies to make people laugh, like the comedians. What's that cat's name? Jamie Foxx. What's that short, dark-skinned dude's name? Kevin Hart. All of those people, they're famous comedians, and they're intelligent people. They're famous. But when they do their jokes and stuff like that, they make blaspheme, they lie. Woe unto the one who lies to make people laugh. If you make someone laugh, you have to say the truth still. That's one hadith. The second hadith is the lady who came and said, Ya Rasulullah, I have committed zina, purify me. So he went through the whole thing. Are you sure? Were you Majnoon? Did you do it? Was it just a kiss? The lady said, I did everything. And then she was pregnant. He said, come back after you give birth. She gave birth. She came back with a baby. He said, come back when the baby is eating. He came back. The baby had bread in his hand. They tied her up and they flogged her and they stoned her to death. A companion came and said, curse of Allah be upon you. What you do like that? Oh, so you embarrassed your people, your tribe, your family. What are you doing? Prophet Muhammad looked at him and said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't say that. This lady came with a toba. If you put her toba in one side of the scale and 70 people of Medina in the other side, her toba would outweigh them, her iman. Why? Because she did something under the table in the dark. No one knew about it except Allah, the malaika, her and the man. But Rasulullah didn't know about it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But she came and exposed herself with her iman. She wanted to get the Hajj established in the earth so she'll go to the Jannah free of charge. And we took that point in As-Sunnah of Imam Ahmed. The hadith said, anyone who gets the Hajj in the dunya, it is a kafara, an expiation for him. You get Hajj in the dunya, corporal punishment, it cleans you up to go to the Jannah. So the point here is, everyone has the right to redemption. I want to ask you, brothers, this question, and I really want you to put your hands up if you know the answer. Is there anybody here with no sins? Is there anybody here who never missed salat intentionally? Is there anybody here who never missed a day of fasting intentionally? Anybody else? Anybody else? Alhamdulillah. You miss days of fasting, things happen intentionally. They're kaba'ir, major sins. How would you feel if people wouldn't let you live down the mistake you made? You used to be a non-Muslim. I'm African-American, non-Muslim. I embrace Islam. If Muslims looked at me as if I was a non-Muslim, I wouldn't like that. I was in Medina in the blessed month of Ramadan, about to break my fast with other people sitting at the sufra, at the Prophet's Masjid, the Prophet's Masjid in Medina. And a brother and his family were providing the break fast, dates, bread, yogurt, things like that. Za'tara, this kind of thing. And as we were sitting there, the man who organized it, he said, Lina ta'arraf, everybody tell who you are. He said, I'm Tex, I'm Umar, I'm Ramiz, I'm this, I'm this. When they came to me, I said, I'm Abu Usama. They said, where you from? I said, America. They were shocked. An American person, Muslim here, said, they said, are you a Muslim? I'm like, man, I'm in the Prophet's Masjid, man, in Ramadan. What do you mean am I a Muslim, man? I'm in Prophet's Masjid. What are you talking about? But the question came because they were just shocked. American? I said, yeah, I'm a Muslim, man. What do you think I'm sitting here for? How would you or I feel if a person didn't accept, I'm a Muslim, man. Don't treat me like I'm a non-Muslim African-American person and you look down on me and you look at me like I'm the N-word. That's what you look at me when you see that. You see that N-word from the top of my head, N and the rest going down. Don't treat me like that. I'm not a kafir. So when people make mistakes, they have the right to redemption. And those people who are from the Khawarij, Daesh, Qaeda, they seem to be different. So they have the right for and to redemption. The other thing about the issue, and I have to bring this up, is we here in America, Salafis in America and Britain, we have to be careful about falling into the geopolitics of the Arab world, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Morocco, Egypt, Qatar, UAE. There are politics going on in those places that have nothing to do with us. We're in America. The way Lou Gossett Jr. said, I forgot what his name was in Roots, but he told Kunta Kinte, you in America, boy. You in America. We are in America. If you're from Morocco and you still have a connection to Morocco, I understand that. You have property in Morocco, you have relatives in Morocco, you have to be connected to Morocco and Algeria and Iraq. You have to be connected to Trinidad, to Guyana. You have to be connected. It's still part of your life. But to superimpose that stuff on the people here is crazy. In the UK, the people from Pakistan are still forcing their daughters to get married to their cousins. So Ramiz will be forced to marry his mother or father's sister or brother's niece. It's common in the UK. It's getting less, but it's common. The Muslims are practicing a lot of their culture from where they come from. Somalis, Sudanese, they take their daughters back and they get FGM, female genital mutilation. They give them a khitan, not the khitan of the Sunnah, but the khitan of Fir'aun. And they take them home and they bring them back, and sometimes they get in trouble because at the airport, they have people checking. They get in trouble because people want to practice their culture. Don't superimpose upon the African American Salafi community in Newark, New Jersey, or in Philadelphia. You're going to superimpose upon them Saudi Arabian geopolitics, man? Come on, brother. I'm not fighting you because of a sheikh in Saudi Arabia. I don't care who he is. So whoever he has beef with and drama with and whoever he talks about, a group of you brothers agree with him in that. I don't agree. I don't agree. This is ijtihad. Now I'm going to fight you people? Come on, man. It's been too long this has been going on in the politics of these other countries and putting them on us, putting them on our local community. This is Masjid Sunnah right here. Masjid As-Sunnah. The majority of the brothers and sisters who are the core community members, Salafi. But is everybody who comes in this door Salafi? So we got to treat them in a nice way. They're our brothers still. They don't know. We have to try to spread our dawah. As for they don't agree with what Sheikh so-and-so said. They don't even know Sheikh so-and-so, man. Are you serious? They don't even know the Sheikh. What are you talking about? Politics of these countries are a problem. So with these countries, there's a lot of politics going on as it relates to Syria. And as a result of those politics, you're getting certain sheikhs talking from certain countries, Saudi Arabia and other than that. And all they do is criticize these sheikhs. Not all of them, some. There's an agenda. There's some Salafis, there's an agenda. And they're just talking negative about it, negative. Abu Muhammad al-Khawlani, this, that, and those people, this, that. I have to say towards that, number one, whether we like it or not, raditum or abitum, whether you like it or not, like it, hate it, Abu Muhammad al-Khawlani is from Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd. He's from the Hukam of Syria now, whether you like it or not. He's the one they're interviewing. He's the one who's sitting down in the upcoming government and he's one of them people. So why is it okay for you now to talk bad about him in public? Why? He's a leader. Why? Also, Hamas. They're the leaders of Gaza. Why are you talking about them and criticizing them publicly? But if someone came and criticized Saudi Arabia for something that they did, criticize one of these other countries, that's okay. That's because this Saudi centrism is a problem. I have no problem or hesitation to say, I believe Saudi Arabia is the best example of a Muslim country. It used to be much better. Used to be much better. And now with the passing of each year, it's a problem. And then we have brothers who they want us to think, come on, man. I'm not here to defend that stuff. Halloween, Christmas, I'm not here to defend that. But why is it okay? You can't talk about certain governments and you shouldn't, but it's okay to talk about Erdogan because he helps the Ikhwan. To talk about Mursi of Egypt because he was an Ikhwani. To talk about this, no, man. This principle of not making khuruj against the hukam, it goes for your hakim and it goes for the other hukam. The double standard. In Afghanistan, Russia, America, they were involved with that whole situation, just like Syria. And when the Mujahideen defeated the Russians and they left, there are sheikhs who said, that's jihad. They're Mujahideen. And do you know who the majority of the Mujahideen were? What's their maslak? Anybody know? The Mujahideen of Afghanistan, what was their background? What's their maslak? Anybody know? The Taliban are Deobandi. The Taliban are Deobandis. Our brothers, Deobandis. Asha'ira. Tasawwuf. But the Sheikh said it's jihad. They're Mujahideen. Politics. Now when it comes to Syria, they're Khawarij. They're Mubtadi'ah. Come on, brother. Come on, man. Which brings me to the last point, inshallah azza wa jal. We as Muslims have to make it that we always want the blood of the Muslims to remain sacred. If someone walked through this door or a fight broke out and someone punched someone and split his lip, his nose, he was bleeding, we're going to take that seriously, man. We're going to look at the one who punched him and we're going to be tough with you, man. Because our lives, our blood, and our money is sacred. It's sacred. Can't spill a Muslim's blood except you have a dalil. You a dentist, you pull his teeth. You spilled his blood. La bas. You give them an operation, la bas. You're protecting yourself and your family. But just to spill the blood of the Muslims, man, come on. Siyana to Dima. And Imam Ahmed was locked up by deviants. People were deviant during his time. His students came to visit him and said, we're ready and we're prepared and we're armed. We're going to make a revolt against the leader and we're going to free you. We're going to deal with him. He said, Ad-Dima, Ad-Dima, Dima'ul Muslimin. The blood of the Muslims. No, don't do that. Don't do that. He was in Baghdad. They were ready to get busy. They were ready. And Imam Ahmed said, no, the blood of the Muslims. And that's why when Bashar was in control and he had everything, we say, don't make khuruj against him, because if you try, you're not ready. He's going to spill everybody's blood. Be patient. Gaddafi, Saddam, don't do that. Don't make khuruj. These people are going to kill all the Muslims. Take it easy. That was Imam Ahmed's position. And he was being persecuted. And he didn't allow that. We have to take care of the blood of the Muslims. So I want to share this with you, brothers. There's a hadith with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, two hadith. He was at the Kaaba in Mecca and he said to the Kaaba, Ma atyabuk. Wa ma atyab rihuk. Wa ma a'zamuk. والذي نفس محمد بيده لحرمة المؤمن عند الله أعظم حرمة منك ماله ودمه. He was looking at the Kaaba and he said to the Kaaba, oh, how tayyib you are, pure. Oh. He said, oh, your smell is pure. Your smell of the Kaaba is pure. He said, how great you are. How azim, ma a'zamuk, Bayt of Allah. You are azim. He said, your hurma, your sacred nature, your hurma is sacred. You are sacred. He said, I swear by the one who Muhammad's soul is in his hands, the sanctity of a mu'min to Allah is more sacred than you are, Kaaba. You're more sacred to Allah than that Kaaba and that black stone. Leave it to the Muslims. We would look at the Kaaba as being more sacred than your brother. So we would respect the Kaaba, clean it off and all of that, and we'll fear Allah. But then with your brother, you punch him in his face, you talk bad about him or whatever. He said that the Muslim, his blood, his life, his money is more sacred than you are to Allah. That's the first hadith. Second hadith, he says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ لَقَتْلُ مُؤْمِنْ أَعْظَمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ مِنْ زَوَالِ الدُّنْيَا. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I swear by the one whom my soul is in his hands. For someone to kill a believer unjustly, one believer, for someone to kill one person, a believer, unjustly, is easier, lighter to Allah than for the whole dunya to dissipate and disappear. And in the dunya is the Kaaba, in the dunya Masjid. So for this whole dunya to go away, a big thing. There are masajid here. There are ulama here. There are awliya here. There are muttaqun here. The Quran is here. A lot of stuff in the dunya that's khair. A lot of stuff. The graves of the anbiya here. Salawatullahi wassalam. He said for the whole dunya to disappear, that's easier and lighter with Allah than for one Muslim to get killed. That's heavier. What about thousands of Muslims, tens of thousands of Muslims in Syria? They were killing those people left, right, and center. And I want to say something right now. I'm glad I thought about it. I was watching the social media, internet, about what was going on. And some of the people who were in prison, their day to get executed was tomorrow. They had been in prison for 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. And tomorrow was the day they were going to get executed, and they would see the sayyaf with the sword. And HTS came and opened the gates, and they came out. The Sheikh al-Iraqi Abu al-Harith was 54. Just imagine, brother, just imagine. You're in a prison and you know tomorrow is your day. You're going to be gone from your kids, your wife, this, that. That's it. Khalas. Who's going to help you? And then, lo and behold, these people come in and they free you. There was one guy who was in there, he was under a blanket and he made himself real small. And when they came in, he wasn't moving. And there was a white lady, a reporter, and she said, "Is there someone under there?" Because he did look shorter than what a normal, he was like that, he wasn't moving. So the soldiers came in and very gingerly and gently, because it could be a sabotage, a bomb, a booby trap. They were very, very careful. And the guy picked it up with his gun. It was a human being that was under there for 40 years, brother. 40 years. He was holding on to the white lady, the non-Muslim, like to protect me. Now, there's some people who will say, why is he touching that woman? It's haram. Man, that man was in prison for 40 years, brother. He doesn't know what's going to happen to him. Maybe they're taking him out and setting him up. Although that's not realistic, because they don't have to set you up. They just deal with you. But you can see him. He was holding on to that lady as if to say, don't let them take me away. And then they took him upstairs, gave him water. He went to eat. He couldn't even eat because he was starving, and he started vomiting. He couldn't even eat. And I want to say this. That goes to show, wallahi, ya ikhwan, this is real talk. The ayat of the Quran in Surah At-Talaq, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. Anyone who fears Allah, Allah will make a way out of your situation and provide for you where you don't know. Maybe that man was making a lot of dua. Maybe that man started praying. If he wasn't praying, maybe it was qiyamul layl, maybe whatever. Whatever. But he got a new lease on life. Crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, back to the point, and this is the last point that I want to mention. An ayat from the Quran I want you to consider. Put it under your kufi, under your hat, and consider this. There's a surah in the Quran called Surah Ar-Rum, the Romans. And Allah mentioned in that surah, Alif Lam Mim. غُلِبَتِ الرُّومُ وَهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ غَلِبِهِمْ سَيَغْلِبُونَ فِي بِضْعِ السِّنِينَ لِلَّهِ الْأَمْرُ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَمِنْ بَعْدِ وَيَوْمَئِذٍ يَفْرَحُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ بِنَصْرِ اللَّهِ يَنْصُرُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الرَّحِيمُ. Listen to this ayat, these ayat. Allah said, Alif Lam Mim. The Romans have been conquered. They have been conquered. And they've been conquered in their land where they were. And after this conquest, they are going to be the conquerors after that. And Bidr Sinin, from 3 to 9 years, they're going to come back and they're going to win the war. And to Allah belongs the affair from before and from after. On that day when the Romans conquered the Persians, the believers were happy. They were happy because of the Nasr of Allah. The Nasr of Allah, and He guides and He helps whoever He wants to help, and He is Al-Aziz Ar-Rahim. Go back, Abdullah. Read the ayah. What's the point I want to make from this ayat as it relates to Syria? This ayat is talking about how the Romans, who were Ahlul Kitab, Christians, they were at odds with the Persians, Zoroastrians, Mushrikun. Is Christianity the truth? I'm asking you, is Christianity the truth? No. But are they closer to us than Hindus? Yes. Closer to us than Sikhs? Yes. That's why we can marry their women. So Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned that the Romans defeated the Persians who were kuffar. Kuffar defeated the kuffar, and the believers, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, and the rest of those believers, Ridwanullah, they were happy that the Christians won. They were happy that the Christians won over the Persians. Allah helps whoever He wants to help, and He is Al-Aziz, Ar-Rahim. So my question to you is this. Do you not see in this ayah and in this incident that the companions, Ridwanullah alayhim, the Salaf, they were happy at the fact that Roman Christians defeated the Persians who were polytheists? And Allah called the victory of the Christians over the Persians, He said, bi nasrillah, the help of Allah. That's what Allah called it, and they're kuffar. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inna Allah la yu'ayyid hadha deen bi rajulin fajir. It's possible that Allah can assist and help this deen with an evil person. Elijah Muhammad had evil, shirk, kufr. The nation of Islam had evil. They were calling to shirk. And yet, many people were with the nation became real Muslims. And after becoming real Muslims, those Muslims from the American Muslim Mission, they helped us to become Muslims. Allah helped this deen. Some people, they not practicing. They meet up with Jamaat Tabligh. They start going out with Jamaat Tabligh. They stay in the Masjid with Jamaat Tabligh. You're not going to learn any knowledge of your deen for the most part, but you change your environment. You change your friends. You're in the Masjid. And then that person comes to the Sunnah. Allah help the situation, brother. So I end with this. How is it that those companions were happy that the Christians defeated the Persians, and we can't be happy that some people who were and are from Daesh, they defeated these people, and now they're in control. You're not going to be happy for that? But we can be happy for the... Come on, man. One of the leaders of Islam in the past, his name was Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi. He was not a joke. But he wasn't like Bashar. And he wasn't like Hafiz Asad. He wasn't like that. But he was rough. Killed some of the companions. But if you read his history from Sir Alam al-Nubala to Al-Imam al-Dhahabi, Al-Imam al-Dhahabi talked about the bad things that he did, and Al-Imam al-Dhahabi said about him, he was shuja', he was brave, and he had courage, and he stopped the innovators from spreading their innovation in the Muslim world. And he stopped the enemies of Islam from even thinking about attacking Muslims. And he was a problem. He killed companions. Allah helped his deen with that man. He was a criminal. He was a criminal. And Imam al-Dhahabi said he has a tawheed fi jumla. Overall, he has tawheed. He didn't say he was a non-Muslim. But like Yazid ibn Muawiyah, and Imam al-Dhahabi said, we hate him for Allah. His reward is with Allah. Let Allah judge his situation, because there's some good and there's some bad. So that's my point. Allah can help the religion with people who are not on the Sunnah as such, but even if a person is a person of innovation, when it becomes an issue of Islam and kufr, Islam or kufr, We have to support Islam over people pushing kufr. So Imam Al-Albani, rahimahullah ta'ala, and I'm done here. And Imam Al-Albani, he has a few talks like this on the internet about, right now in the Arab world, there are Almanis. What's Almani again? Secularism is spreading all over the Arab world, all over the Gulf states, without any exception. Secularism. I heard a brother in the UK say something that was crazy. He said, anybody who loves Saudi Arabia, that's a dalil, he's Salafi. And anybody who doesn't love Saudi Arabia is a dalil, he is a mubtadi. He said, this is a principle. I'm like, where'd you get that from, brother? There are people who are Saudi Arabian, from Saudi Arabia, who are secularists, and they love Saudi Arabia. They're Salafi? Why do you say stuff? We don't have to get involved in that stuff, man. We don't have to get involved and talk like that. Let's just say the truth. In Saudi Arabia, they helped at Tawheed. In Saudi Arabia, if you go to Saudi Arabia compared to most Muslim countries, Iraq, Morocco, you go to any country, Saudi Arabia is different, man. It's different. We'll say that. But come on, brother. I don't have to push anybody's agenda. We're right here in America. And by the way, that was one of the things that those ghulat were saying about me, that I'm against Saudi Arabia. I'm not against Saudi Arabia. What you talking about? I'm for Saudi Arabia like I'm for all of the Muslim countries. What you talking about? You're lying. You have an agenda. I'm just not down with that Saudi centrism. That's what I'm on and what I'm not on. So in concluding, my brothers and sisters in Masjid As-Sunnah, you're free, believe whatever you want to believe, look at it however you want to look at it. But this is my understanding of the situation. Guarded optimism. Wait and see. And I hope and pray to Allah that He changes those people from what they were upon. And that's possible. إن القلوب بين إصبعي الرحمن يقلبها كيف يشاء. The hearts of the servants are between the two fingers of Allah. Allah changes people's hearts how He wants. So they were on that. It's easy for Allah to put those. I'm not down with the Khawarij. I'm not with the Khawarij. I'm watching. So I'm not supporting 100%. I support the people have the yoke off their necks. I support that. But support that movement and what they're doing, I pray. Husna dhann billah. Nor am I wishing that Bashar comes back or someone like Bashar. Who does that? This is what we wanted to say to you, brothers. We went, I think, a little bit over time. It's 8:30, and I think we started what time? Wow, 7:20. So we went over hours time. All right, very quickly, Ikhwani, very quickly, if you guys have any questions because of the nature, where's the grub at? It's here, it's coming. All right, we're going to stop now. We're going to stop now. I'm starving like Marvin. Subhanakallah. Nah, Sheikh. Nah, Sheikh. Nah, Sheikh. Once the grub comes, we got to get our grub on. We got to get our grub on. That's the sunnah, man. That's the sunnah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.